the rainwater off the bar. When I scold her, don't do that. I scold her, but it's yum. Don't do that, I scold her, but it's yummy, she replies. She gets tired of licking the chin-up bar, and now she picks a little flower out of the weeds and pretends to suck the nectar out of it. When I say, I don't think that kind of flower has nectar in it, she says, yes, it does. She gets tired of picking flowers, and now she picks up the twigs around her and starts drawing a line on the ground. She draws train tracks on the ground and pretends to ride a train. The moment I look away, she puts the mud-stained forefingers of her drawing hand in her mouth. I say, that's dirty, but she isn't listening. She's busy thinking of other ways to play. We were brought up playing dirty games as much as we wanted. That make adults wrinkle up their faces. This is what I want you not to forget. Children have a right to these dirty games. So if they want to fool around with the rainwater, they have the right to fool around the rainwater as much as they want.
Thank you so much, Hugo. A lot of us here, all of us here, did experience the loss of what we used to believe and what we used to have after the March 11th, even though we knew a lot of things already, but we didn't realize that it was really happening. And we regret that we couldn't stop it, especially for children in Japan right now. And just Yuko talking about it, it makes us emotional as well, because we do have personal connection with those mothers in Japan and children. They are our friends, they're struggling every day by measuring, by guided counters and measuring the contaminations in Japan. So it definitely does bring up a lot of emotional issues, and I really appreciate Yuko for talking about it and freely expressing it in this panel. So next one is Sabu Koso. Sabu is an author and translator, native of Japan, has lived and worked in New York City since the early 1980s. Koso 1980s. Koso has been active in global anti-capitalist struggle for decades. He published in Japan and Korea several books on outer space. And he just actually came back from Japan and Korea, and so maybe he can talk about that as well. But he that's not enough. He has a lot more. Okay. He also translated books by he published in Japan and Korea several books on outer space and people's struggle and anarchism. And he also translated books by such theorists as David Graeber, John Holloway, I think he's speaking tomorrow at the forum, and Kojin Karzani. Currently, he's co-editing J. Fisher's That Oath with Yuko, a site for critical and theoretical analysis of the post-nuclear disaster world. Thank you, Sabu.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming today. I'm just back from Japan a few days ago, and I'm still very confused. Partly because it's jet lag. For my age, the 14-hour difference is really terrible. But more than anything, what I saw there was very confusing too, which is that I think that the struggles they are conducting and also the realities that they are facing every day is very, very complex and very, very tough. And the solutions are not easily found at this moment. as Kay talked about extensively, that's the kind of power that people are facing. And as Yuko talked about, people's everyday life is a very much a battleground, nothing but battleground. And so when I saw the different kinds of groups and comrades in Tokyo and Osaka especially, most of them are sort of anti-capitalist, anti-authoritarian, anarchist, autonomist, but they are now more or less dealing with this issue of anti-nuke related, everyday problems. I mean, like here this morning, I went to two panels in New York, and I realized how distant it is because, many issues are sort of on the bottom level, it's connected, but it's as if like in Japan, everything is about radiation and the kind of power that's sort of like living off of it. And we have to cover everything, like anti-capitalism, autonomy, everything, name it. We have to deal with radiation. That's the thing. And so this confusion, and also the different kinds of actions that you've already talked about, like from street demos to radiation monitoring, measurement movement, to food, getting secure food for the day-to-day basis. Everything is sort of like make a stratification, kind of strata of different actions and different politics within themselves. And it's very difficult to have a broad picture of everything at the same time. And the one reference I can think of at this moment is Félix Guattari, like a French militant philosopher and psychoanalyst, wrote a book called Three Ecologies in late 80s. And these three ecologies include not only environment, but also like subjectivation or like our mind formation, and also social formation. These three domains he considered ecology. And this ecology is not necessarily just simply equilibrium or like a peaceful domain, but the kind of dynamic that we are living in a mutual relationship. And I think this sort of gave me a hint of how to think of everything that's happening there. But still not yet, that's clear. And these complex layers of struggles, what are they doing? It's very hard to see like each of these. If you look at each of these actions, it's very hard to see victory or loss or failure. But en masse, as Kay implied, near the end of April, that there's a chance that there won't be no more nuclear reactor in Japan. And that's, in total, it's a victory. People are considering that's their victory. And also, more than anything, in the domain of their subjectivation, they recognize that they don't need nuclear power. No matter how media and the government tell us that without nuclear power you wouldn't have computer, you wouldn't have air conditioner, that's not true. They're already living just two. What's wrong with you guys? That's the story. So that's stratification. Each struggle, each front is very hard to detect what they are doing, how in terms of victory. But en masse, there's something. So that's a very important factor. Already Yuko quite talk about many different actions and the struggles. But I like to add a few things that she didn't talk about.